Hello again, Andy with Handy Andy Handyman, Handy Andy on Demand. We're out today at a customer's house over in Woodstock taking a look at his chimney trim. And so these are doubled up 2x4 corner boards, and like a lot of the stuff we see, this wasn't pressure treated wood, which is probably what we'll use here. And then it was only painted and primed on the faces that you see. There's 6 faces to each piece of that trim, and they only painted 2 of them. So any water that gets in there once the caulk fails, it'll just rot. So we'll replace this stuff all the way down. It's about 100 foot of materials on both sides, and you can see this side is a lot worse here when you see all the mushrooms actually growing. It's been going on for a long time. People forget about this stuff all the way up through there. The other thing that we would suggest is, when you see downstairs, you'll see a lot of water getting caught in this edge here, where the deck meets the back of the house and meets the chimney. We would install, or recommend that they install, a pressure treated flashing plate that'll seal that gap, and it'll obviate the need for the flashing is there. When this deck was built, you could still use galvanized flashing, and you'll see that in a second down below. So that's starting to rust through. So every bit of water that gets caught in here, in this area right now, and you'll see the condition of the bottom plate, which is rotted partially from the water from this trim, partially from the lack of proper flashing up here. And you're going to get to a point now where when that galvanized flashing goes all the way through, that water will actually start leaching into the sill plate, which is what this deck is bolted to on the inside. So that becomes a very expensive repair. The boys can go ahead and fix this gate up for them if they want. It's not a big deal. Our carpenters can pretty much do everything. And then when you get down here, you'll see what I'm talking about. So the problem with any kind of flashing like this, so you see this little edge right here? That's galvanized flashing. And you can see it starting to corrode right in this corner over here. What you can't see is where it's bent in an L behind the siding. That's rusted through because they've nailed through it. So every time it's raining, a little bit of the water is actually getting inside the wall cavity. And you don't want that. That's what's led to all of this. So this rot down here at the bottom plate isn't from the rotted corner boards on the chimney. It's from water getting between that gap between the decking, the flashing, and the chimney itself. So we'll replace this. We're probably gonna have to reframe a little bit under here. There's a little damage to this. Outside is actually Nichihana siding, and it's not a defective siding, but it's a knockoff of Hardy Plank, and where it gets exposed to a lot of water, it'll crumble. So when we reach up to make that repair, that little edge is gonna crumble. We'll just piece in with something. You can see it from this side here. So that'll be pretty much what we'll be doing here. My brother and I run a crew of 30. We've pretty much been doing this stuff for almost 30 years in Atlanta. It's absolutely insane that I am now that old. We had one little piece of siding up here that he may want to go ahead and replace. It's kind of hard to see it in this light, but underneath this window right here, see how jagged that edge is? And there's a crack in it. So we just make a joint on the outside edge of either side of this window, but it's actually crumbling. And so that's the trick with Nichihana siding. In areas where they get a lot of water runoff coming off of this aluminum case trim and the window itself, it's kind of just forced that siding to start to crumble and break down. So you can reach us at 770-912-2829 in the office, or get me personally sometimes at 770-265-9017. I'm Andy. See you at the next house. Bye for now.